Hi, I'm Grace Duong, the artist, author, and founder of Mystic Mondays, most known for its vibrant tarot deck and app. This video is sponsored by Starry Internet, a new lightning-fast internet service provider on a mission to break the internet monopoly, giving you connection as bright as the stars. Today we're going to dive into the basics of tarot. To an outsider, tarot can seem pretty intimidating, especially with all 78 of the cards, their symbolism, and their meanings. However, we're going to go over some tarot tips and tricks on how to get started, even if you're only a beginner. We'll be going over 3 topics today. 1. A brief history of tarot. 2. What is tarot? And 3. How to read the tarot cards. Now let's get started! The origins of tarot are mysterious, largely unknown, and only confirmed by inklings in history. To dive deep into the rich history of tarot could be its own course unto itself. But for now, here is a brief evolution of how tarot came to be what it is today. The earliest set of playing cards are said to be originated in ancient China during the Tang Dynasty. They may have looked more like mahjong tiles than what we currently know as playing cards. You can see these playing cards evolve over the years, especially in the Ming Dynasty with the water margin cards in the 14th century. These cards are considered to be the ancestors of modern playing cards today. Playing cards likely spread throughout different parts of the world through trade and crusades during the 11th to 15th century. Cards entered Europe around the 14th century and was likely introduced through Egypt, where many believe is where the tarot originated from, although there is no documented evidence to support that. In the 15th century, the origins of the word tarot started to appear in Italy, referred to as tarocchi and tarocco. In the 18th century, tarot decks started to be used for divination through tarot card readings and cartomancy, which just means any divination method using cards, including both tarot cards and playing cards. This then led to customization of decks for their specific magical and occult purpose. Jump to 1910. One of the most recognizable and popular tarot decks is published, the Rider-Waite deck, illustrated by artist Pamela Coleman Smith and written by academic and mystic Arthur Edward Waite. Many tarot decks were inspired by the Rider-Waite deck, including Mystic Mondays. So before I even embarked on creating my own tarot deck, I was actually gifted the Rider-Waite deck by my cousin in high school. I was attracted to metaphysics, astrology, palm reading, you name it, and I would beeline to that section of the store, which was a very telling sign looking back of what I was into. Cut to, I had just graduated college and moved from Philadelphia to Los Angeles for a job that I was hired for. And after 2 months, I was fired. I hit a pretty low point, feeling anxious and depressed. I had just moved to a new city without knowing anyone, and now without my sense of security. I lived near a bookstore that had a rotating list of tarot readers and healers that you could book readings with. And it was around this time that I went and got tarot readings pretty frequently. For me, tarot is like a form of therapy, a check-in with your spiritual and emotional self. However, after a while, I realized I was seeking outside of myself for external validation, for confirmation that I was on the right path, which led me to go within and to trust my own intuition. beginning my journey of creating my own tarot deck. This allowed me to dive deeper into each card and their meanings, and how these messages could be translated for today's generation. I also craved a tarot deck that was modern, fun, and vibrant, and I just couldn't find it anywhere, which led me to think, hey, I can make my own. For anyone that's ever felt intimidated by tarot, I get it, because that is exactly how I felt. I also couldn't fully relate to the cards because they seemed a bit antiquated in the way it was written and the imagery, and don't get me wrong, I fully respect the history of tarot. They were just created for and in a different time. I wanted to create a tarot deck that would be easy for you and I to connect with and understand. Tarot is not scary, and learning tarot does not have to be hard. The great thing is, you don't need to know the full history of tarot to form a relationship with it. You can learn at your own pace and on your own terms. When I say tarot, you may think of the stereotypical psychic reader with the hot neon storefront signs and that they're used to predict the future, and some do use it this way. However, I call tarot an intuition tool, a form of introspection that can become a staple in your self-care rituals. Tarot can be used to reflect on current circumstances and act as an outside perspective, helping you gain access to your own intuition, listening to your inner voice in a world where there is so much external noise. We are so distracted on a daily basis, and tarot helps you to tune in. Tarot connects you to your highest self, connecting you to your most trusted source. You. There are 78 cards in a tarot deck, and they can be read either upright or reversed, which means that there are 156 different meanings altogether. This also depends on how your cards read when they are placed in spreads, which impacts your overall reading. The major arcana consists of 22 cards. Whenever these cards pop up in a reading, you'll know that this has to do with major life changes, karmic cycles, and significant lessons that are present in your current life. The minor arcana consists of 56 cards and are broken up into 4 suits: cups, pentacles, swords, and wands. These cards indicate the significance in your day-to-day. So activities, events, tasks, and emotions that you may be experiencing and impacted by in your everyday life. And then there are the court cards, which start with the page, or rather the princess in the Mystic Mondays deck, followed by the knight, queen, and king, each card representing a level of maturity. These court cards can represent other people, but they can also represent aspects of you. Having a tarot deck is like having a relationship. Each tarot deck has its own voice, which you'll be sure to uncover the more you work with different decks. Many people have a collection of tarot and oracle decks, and they may use them for a different purpose or how they're feeling. This is really just a tool to relay messages for you in the best way that you can absorb them, and sometimes it is choosing a certain deck over another. A great way to learn the tarot is to draw your tarot card of the day, which you can actually do on the Mystic Mondays app, especially if you're on the go and don't happen to be carrying a full set of tarot cards. This can be a daily ritual for your self-care, guidance, and reflection. Getting started with tarot cards is easier than you think. First, get your hands on a tarot deck. My philosophy is to learn by doing. So yes, this will take practice and time. However, anything worth doing requires your attention, point blank. Remember, there is no right or wrong, so throw that out of the window. Tarot can be used to reflect, journal, and most of all, connect with your own intuition while you are developing your inner voice. Now here's a way to approach reading the tarot cards. Imagine you are at an art gallery and there are paintings on the wall. You can tell that they are part of the same series and that they are done by the same artist. And each painting may come with an artist statement where you start to look at the whole picture. You look at the details and you begin to connect the dots of what the story of this painting means to you. You start to tell a story, and that is what tarot is. Storytelling! You can then use this artwork as a means to connect to your inner voice, relaying messages from your higher self. Art is subjective, and so is tarot. We can create so many different meanings based on our thoughts, experiences, and feelings. That means that even though the cards are assigned a specific meaning, they can still have a different interpretation to them based on you as the reader. Let's practice with a simple 3-card spread. A spread is a framework for which the position of the cards are laid out. This helps give context for the position of the cards because they represent an aspect of the reading. For example, this spread could be mind, body, spirit, or a popular one, past, present, future, or have, want, need. The list can go on and on and on. Now, apply this art gallery thinking to the tarot cards. Ask yourself, what story are the cards telling? Based on the images, when they're read solo or when they're read in relation to one another. Based on the keywords, take a look at the assigned keywords for each card and how they start to piece together a story. Based on the position of the card in the spread. The spread is used as a framework to help you gain context for what the cards mean. It's like having a guideline for the narrative and the question that you're asking the cards. When you put the cards together, they start to tell a story. Trust your instincts. It's quite easy to doubt ourselves and our intuition, but it takes practice to develop it. Intuition is like a muscle. The more you uncover it, the more you will be able to have access to it. A quick way to familiarize yourself with tarot is to remember these themes. Cups relate to the element of water and themes around your intuition, your emotions, and your relationships. Pentacles are associated with the element of earth and themes around your finances, your material possessions, and your physical foundations. Swords relate to the element of air and themes around your knowledge, mental pursuits, and change. What is in the air, am I right? Wands relate to the element of fire, with themes around your passions, creativity, and spiritual connection. So if your reading has mostly cup cards, that is a quick way for you to know that this tarot reading is centering around your intuition, your emotions, and your relationships. Each tarot card correlates with a number, and this is where numerology comes in handy. Numerology is the occult significance in numbers. If you've ever noticed the same numbers over and over again, those are signs from your spiritual team relaying a vibrational message. Numbers in tarot have significance too. And this is where you can use that structure to help you with what the cards mean. Here's the rundown. Aces mean new beginnings, potential, and opportunities. Twos signify balance, partnership, and duality. Threes relate to collaboration, groups, and growth. Fours indicate structure, stability, and foundation. Five can mean change, conflict, and instability. Six relates to communication, harmony, and flow. Seven means reflection, introspection, and assessment. Eight signifies mastery, progression, and awareness. Nine indicates attainment, transition, and that you're almost at the end. 10 is a cycle ending, a renewal or rebirth, and a completion. Now, you can combine the themes of the suits and the numbers of the card to gain a general sense of what the card means. So, for example, if you have multiple 4 cards in your reading, you'll quickly know that this has to do with your sense of stability and structure. If, for example, in the same reading, a lot of wands are apparent, this sense of structure and stability could do with a career change relating to your passions, creativity, and spirituality. You got that? No? Well, lucky for you, I have a handy tarot cheat sheet that you can download for free. Link in the show notes. I truly believe the more work we do on our inner selves, the more that we're able to show up in the world as our most empowered and authentic selves. Tarot is a mirror, and it reflects aspects of you, whether you like it or not. Use tarot as a way to get to know yourself better, to access your inner voice, and to listen to your intuition. Remember, trust your intuition and share your magic with the world. We need it more than ever. Want more? Download the Mystic Mondays app. Register for the online tarot course. If you haven't yet, order the Mystic Mondays Tarot. And don't forget to pre-order my new deck, the Mystic Mondays Crystal Grid deck, coming out in fall 2020.